What's going on, guys? It's LQG, and today I'm back with another video. So today I have for you guys NBA players practicing for the return of the NBA season in Orlando. The NBA is set to return in 20 days at the end of July, and although there's high speculation that it will be cancelled, as of right now it's still going to go down. So with that being said, I have a bunch of clips for you guys of some NBA players practicing, going through their workouts, getting shots up, and getting ready for the NBA season to return. Some of the players we have in here are LeBron, Anthony Davis, Luka Doncic, Ben Simmons, Zion, so a bunch of players that you guys would definitely want to see, so make sure you stay tuned and watch the entire video. Now before we talk about more, first things first, I have to shout out the commenter from yesterday's video, and that is LeBron James, so here he is right now. And if you guys don't know, on every video I shout out one person that comments on the day before his video, so you definitely want to make sure you go ahead and comment on this video. Comment anything and you might get the shout out. Also, make sure you guys leave a like. Let's see if we can hit 50 likes on this video. And make sure you guys subscribe to catch all the daily videos. We are releasing daily content, so you definitely don't want to miss out. And turn on post notifications so you're notified when I upload a new video. So with that being said, I definitely want to know what you guys think about the NBA season returning. I want to know who you guys think is going to win the championship, what players are going to be ready. It's looking like we have a bunch of players that got in shape during the quarantine. We got Zion, who lost weight, Nikola Jokic apparently as well. And a bunch of NBA players have been going through daily workouts, although some of them have been focused on other things like gaming, streaming, and stuff like that. So I definitely want to know what you guys think about the NBA season returning, who's going to be ready, who's going to win the championship, and stuff like that. So make sure to let me know down in the comments. Now for me, if it's from the West, I'm thinking it's going to be either the Lakers or the Clippers, depending on the seeding. And obviously, since it's been over a 4-month break, it's hard to know how the players will return, but I think the Lakers have a really strong roster, and obviously with LeBron and Anthony Davis, they shouldn't have a problem advancing far in the playoffs. And LeBron's going for his 4th ring. You know, he really needs it right now. He's really focused, as you saw in the workout clips. As for the Clippers, they got both Kawhi and Paul George, who have been rested for 4 months. You know, Paul George was dealing with a shoulder injury, and he says he's 100% right now, so that'll be really good. And Paul George always plays well coming off a layoff. He's usually really good at the beginning of the season or off a long break. He usually explodes. So I'm thinking it'll be the same thing like this. And as well as you got Kawhi, who you gave 4 months rest to. Talk about load management. That's a bunch of load management right there. And both the Clippers and the Lakers are really deep. They got good benches. So I'm really excited to see. I would love a playoff series between them. I'm hoping it would go 7 games, obviously, so we get the most. And I'm hoping for a really close 7-game series. And that would be great to watch. I'm also really interested to see how the Rockets will do without a center. I mean, some games you saw it was working for them. They blew out the Lakers one game. But also some games it wasn't working for them. So it really depends on their outside shooting and how James Harden is in the playoffs. Obviously in Russell Westbrook instead of CP3, he's really streaky, so it depends on how he'll be as well. But I'm definitely interested to see how they're going to do in the playoffs without any center. That'll be very interesting to watch. And that's really what I'm looking for in the West. In the East, it's looking like it'll be the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, they're the most well-oiled team right now. And Giannis was on pace for a historic season, going for his 2nd MVP in a row. So I'm really excited to see if he'll pick it up again, although I heard he had been resting and not playing too much. Same thing with Luka Doncic from the Mavericks. You will see some clips of him working out, but there were about 2 to 3 months where he wasn't working out at all. So we'll be interested to see how he does in his first playoffs. Also, we also have the Philadelphia 76ers. You'll see some clips of Ben Simmons working out. Obviously, he wasn't working on his jump shot because, you know, Ben Simmons doesn't like to do that. And I definitely think that'll really hurt them. That's what's been hurting them in past playoffs, is Ben Simmons' inability to shoot and create for himself. The 76ers are definitely the best they've been, adding Al Horford this year. And with Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons having more playoff experience and a well-rounded veteran in Al Horford, it will be interesting to see how they do in the playoffs as well. I'm also looking forward to see the Boston Celtics. I think they could be an underdog team that could go kind of far. And Jason Tatum was really exploding before the season shut down, so we'll have to see how he picks up when the season does return. One thing I am kind of disappointed is Kevin Durant and Kyrie not going to play. And I'm not disappointed in them. Obviously, health and safety is definitely first, and I would understand any player that doesn't want to go and risk either injury or health with everything that's going around. But I did kind of see it set up perfectly for Durant, where his team would make the playoffs and all he'd have to do is come back and win the 16 games in the playoffs and get another ring. But he's definitely waiting for next season, so we'll have to see what he'll do then. That being said, I don't see the Nets doing anything in the playoffs really. They also have a bunch of players that aren't coming down. I did make a video about 10 NBA players not going to play in Orlando, and I'll leave a link to that video in the description if you want to check it out. I covered a bunch of Nets players not going, as well as some other players. Also, another team in the West that I'm interested to see is obviously the Pelicans. You have Zion, who has apparently lost some weight, and they really started to pick it up before the season shut down, so I'm interested to see how they'll do. Another player who I've seen really focused, and you'll see a bunch of clips of him at the end, is Damian Lillard. Now, the Portland Trail Blazers are a bit out of the playoffs, but they do have a chance to go in, with them being 3.5 games behind the 8th seeded Grizzlies. Now, I think Lillard is really focused, and if he can get his team to the playoffs, I know him and McCollum can cause some major problems for the 1st seed, which would definitely be the Lakers, unless somehow they lose every game and the Clippers were to win every game. And I don't think they really have enough to beat the Lakers, but I know they could definitely cause them some problems and maybe get a 1st-round upset, although it's really not likely. We also have the Lakers obviously adding J.R. Smith and Dion Waiters in the absence of Avery Bradley. And I did make a video about my thoughts of the Lakers signing J.R. Smith. I will leave the link to that in the description. And I also uploaded a video of J.R.'s first practice. You saw him and LeBron in there getting some runs in. So I'm really excited to see if he'll get any playing time or if he'll just sit on the bench and fill up a roster spot. So right now I want to go through the standings and give you guys my thoughts on each team. Starting in the West, we have the Lakers in first place with a record of 49-14, which is 5.5 games better than the number 2 seed, which is the Clippers. Now I touched on both teams at the beginning, and in my opinion they're going to stay in the 1 and the 2 seed. In the third seed, we have the Nuggets with a 43-22 record, 7 games behind the first seeded Lakers. And I also don't see their spot changing too much. They could go down 1 to number 4, where we have the Utah Jazz with a 41-23 record, or they could even lock in the second seed if the Clippers jump out to a slow start. In the 5th and 6th spot, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Houston Rockets, both with a record of 40-24. And like the Rockets, who I covered at the beginning, it'll be interesting to see the Thunder, how CP3 is going to come back. They were really overachieving this season, so I definitely see them sliding down a few spots, even though the number 7 seeded Mavericks are 40-27, so the Thunder have a full 2.5 games above them. Speaking of the Mavericks, they are the 7th seed right now, but they're pretty much guaranteed a playoff spot, with them being 7 games ahead of the 8th seeded Memphis Grizzlies. Now for the 8 games that are going to be played for each team when the season does return, in the West, it's pretty much to kind of sort out the middle seedings, although it won't change too much in my opinion, but it's mostly for the 8th seed. So the 8th seeded Grizzlies have a record of 32-33, but behind them in spots 9, 10, 11, and 12, you got the Portland Trailblazers in 9th with a record of 29-37, and they are 3.5 games behind the Grizzlies. You have the Pelicans, who are also 3.5 games behind the Grizzlies. In 11th, the Kings, who as well are 3.5 games behind. And then kind of a long shot, but also is definitely possible, is number 12, which is the San Antonio Spurs, who are 4 games behind. So in the West, the 1 through 6 seeds, which are the Lakers, the Clippers, the Nuggets, the Jazz, the Thunder, and the Rockets, have already clinched playoff positions. The Mavericks within 1 to 2 games will definitely clinch it as well. And then that 8th seed is going to be really interesting. For the Grizzlies, it's definitely going to be on the back of Ja Morant, and we'll see if he can carry them and continue their 8th seed run. Although, even if they do make the 8th seed, 99% they're going to be losing to the Lakers anyway. So obviously with the 5 teams in contention, I don't think any of them can beat the Lakers in a 7-game series. But if I had to pick 1 or 2 teams that could maybe somehow pull it off, it would be, like I said, the 9th seeded Blazers or the 10th seeded Pelicans. Those are 2 teams that I think could have the slightest chance, even though it's really small. Another first round matchup that it would look like right now is the Mavericks and the Clippers, and that would be a really interesting first round matchup, but I obviously think the Clippers are going to take that in maybe 5 or 6 games. Moving on to the Eastern Conference, we also have 6 teams that have already claimed playoff position, and that is the number 1 seeded Milwaukee Bucks, the number 2 seeded Toronto Raptors, the number 3 seeded Boston Celtics, the number 4 seeded Miami Heat, the number 5 seeded Indiana Pacers, and the number 6 seeded Philadelphia 76ers. Now behind them you have the number 7 Nets and the number 8 Orlando Magic. The Magic are in the 8th seed, but they are only behind by half a game, and between them and the 9th seed Washington Wizards you have a full 5.5 games. And then in the 10th seed you have the Hornets, who are a full 7 games behind the Magic. So in the East, the playoff is pretty much set. The only things that could really change are the Magic and the Nets, the 76ers and the Pacers, who have the same record at 39-26, and they're both also 2 games behind the Miami Heat, who are sitting in the 4th seed. The top 3 teams I don't really see changing. The middle 3, I definitely see a change going in somewhere there. And then the last 2, maybe the Orlando Magic just go a game ahead just because the Nets really are playing with a thin roster. But if the seeding stays as it is now, the first round Boston Celtics and 76ers matchup will be really intense. The Bucks would definitely advance playing either the Nets or the Magic. Same thing with the Raptors. And then the Heat and Pacers would be a good series, but I have to go with the Heat with Victor Oladipo saying he's not going to play. With that being said, guys, I want you to let me know down in the comments below who you think is going to win the title, maybe what team's going to surprise, and also what players you think are going to go off when the season does return. And also, like I said at the beginning, make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe to the channel to catch all the new content. We're releasing daily videos, so you definitely don't want to miss out, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and have a great day.